Hi guys, welcome. So I'm going to go through something really quickly in regards to getting your dream body, getting your health to its optimum performance and sustaining it over a lifetime. So most people watching this will have a situation where they got a little bit healthier and then unhealthy, a little bit unhealthy and then unhealthy again. So just constantly doing this over a long period of time, and over a long period of time, eventually a lot of people give up, they get frustrated, and they start having the thought process of healthy food as not tasty food, because they probably sometimes not able to either cook properly, or they just have a bad relationship with healthy food in regards to they eat things that aren't that tasty. They relate to, like, for fast food and stuff that is super tasty, so they have that kind of bad relationship. I'm not going to go down that line too much. I'm going to focus on who you surround yourself with. So that is super important. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Because a lot of people may think that if I hang around with people that are healthy, I'll get healthier, but the application to it isn't that great. So for me, I put a couple notes down to explain, things that you can do practically to then start improving this, as opposed to just ranting on about and then not having any practical advice. So firstly, I took a few notes on bad food given. So if you're not seeing a friend in a couple of weeks and they're coming over to your house for a coffee, or they want to meet up and they want to go somewhere to eat, not a lot of the time those people will maybe make bad decisions on the place to eat, or they'll come round with a bottle of wine, or some chocolates and stuff like that, and that is just a bit of a nightmare, because what happens is you then feel obliged, or because you're craving stuff, or because your whole life you've not been eating well, so like you constantly want that sugar because you're really you're just so used to eating it. And I don't want to use the word addicted to it, but that as a possibility. So you find it hard to get away from it. But if you alternatively had a situation where you replaced the meet up with your friend, or your social life, doing things with groups of people with an active sport, activities, meet up at the beach, go a walk. If you are going to go for a meal, be conscious of picking a healthy place. There's so many of them that are actually, especially in Dubai, that have super high quality, and you can easily, as I said, super high quality, and you can easily get over to. They're not far from places here, so that's something to consider, to make sure you have, because if you are with people that are not going to do that, you're going to find yourself constantly slipping down that slope again, because you're never really going to you're going to take two steps forward and 1.5 back, and then 4 forward, and then like 5 back. It's just like really hard to get any sort of momentum. And then people say like, oh no, well that person came around, they gave it to me, and they start using them as excuses. And when you're actually in control of this, you're in control of who you surround yourself with. So by making better decisions, something to do is say to your friend, or constantly push going to healthier places, and that'll set the tone. If they aren't someone who's actually just like, no, I just want to eat bad food, then that's something to consider about who you're hanging out with. Are those people adding value to your life, or are they also always dragging you back down? Because your health is the absolute core foundation of everything, and everything else will come down on a slippery slope eventually if you don't sort it out. So if that's someone who isn't raising your standards and adding value to a certain extent, then it's maybe something to consider, either trying to find a few friends that do that, or moving on from those friends. I'm not saying sack your friends off completely, but it is something to think about in regards to who you're surrounding yourself with and what kind of energy that you are taking in. So I want to keep that video to quite as short as possible. But to summarize, is make sure the people you're hanging out with are bringing or you're going out with are making the right decisions with restaurants and healthy food. And if you're having a meetup, they're not bringing bottles of wine and bad food over, because that is only going to bring you down to a lower level, and you're never really going to get anywhere. And actually, going in a deeper aspect, some people do it on purpose, that people hang out with. They do it on purpose because they don't like when people around them are elevating, going further, progressing, and they kind of sabotage them in a way, and they're like, oh, you've changed, you don't have fun no more, or that's no fun. But really deep down, they want to be like you, and they don't want you to get too far, so they constantly make you feel bad about your progression. So you want to be surrounding yourself with people who will uplift you and congratulate you on the progression that you're making. So I hope that helps, and just consider, if you get any more questions, as always, please let me know, and always think it's something really important to consider. And as I said before, this is one aspect of many that need to come together to change your habits over a lifetime, because some people have underlying bad habits, and there's something that they really can't get out of. So this is one thing that you can, if you implement, you can see a huge change. And then you can then, once you kind of get to grips with that part, you can then, you know, keep making small increments forward. And I've seen it with my own clients over time, and it's something you know, spectacular, and you can't really express how big a change that makes to their full life, their happiness, because you need to see it with your own eyes to a certain extent. So I hope that helps, and any questions, as always, please let me know.